Hello and welcome to the Not a Guru podcast. I'm one of your podcast hosts, Tyler Smith, certified athletic trainer, certified strength and conditioning specialist. I'm also here alongside the prestigious Dr. Heidi Cook. We are here to help you with personal development, personal growth, and really building a foundation that lasts you your whole life. We're so excited you're here today, and let's jump in.
Howdy ho.
How are you? How's your evening going? That's the big question.
Uh, it's going.
It's going. It's
Uh,
going.
Tyler and I may have just spent the last 22 minutes bitching. Uh, but here we are. We had Tyler sent over, as he does every day before we record, a lovely list of, we have like a master list of the topics that we want to go over, and then he narrows those down, and we pick from this small selected list that Tyler sends over. And today I was reading the list and I was like, you know what? I just don't got it.
I don't I don't have the energy to go in depth on those topics, Tyler. I'm sorry. I just cannot do this.
I'm trying to remain authentic.
Just
I'm
really
trying
real.
I'm trying to not fake it till I make it. What's all the other advice we've put out there? I could not pull it together today to uh to like hee haw through a
Hey
motivational.
man, we all have those days. It's okay to have some every once in a while.
I just didn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was just one of those days. I was telling Tyler earlier, like, I was just in a weird funk yesterday. I don't know why. I couldn't pull myself out of it. Woke up this morning, was feeling better, but then it was just like one of those evenings where just like all of these little things were going wrong, and I wanted to scream.
But you didn't.
But I didn't. I may
There you
have
go.
harumphed pretty hard.
What is a harumph?
Harumph. But overall, everything's fine. I just felt that kind of poopy attitude sneak back in, and it was just like, this broke and this fell, and Cal's food was all, the tray fell and food was all over the floor, and the floor got wet and I stepped in it and my sock was wet, and the I was trying to install a baby gate and shit was falling down the stairs, and it like not one single one of those things is A, that important, B, that challenging, or C, like that day ruining. But it was just like one thing after another, where at one point I looked at Sam and I was just like, is this real life right now?
I've said that many times. Like this, my running line is like, this can't be real life. Like this has got to be like a dream or a joke or
A
like
sick joke.
I'm in a episode of the Truman Show where they're all like making stuff go wrong and I'm just part of the scene. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. And I don't know why, I've just been like really hard on myself lately. I just I was telling my sister, I was like, I feel like I'm just like falling a little bit short, not tremendously short, but just a little bit short in just about every single aspect of my life. And she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, okay, let me rephrase that. I am falling just a little bit short of my own expectations of myself in every single aspect of my life. And that I think is what's putting me in a shitty mood. It's just like, I think we've talked about this before. That is the one thing that I struggle with the most about parenthood. My day is filled with joy from beginning to end. That child is the sweetest little cherub angel of all time. But I just, I, when things are out of my control and I'm trying to like I set, a mental goal or benchmark or whatever of like, okay, I'm gonna do XYZ, or I need to get, this done by this day or whatever. And like, because my number one priority isn't myself and this list of things that I need to accomplish, that list of things always goes to the wayside, and all of my time, energy, and attention is going on to this other thing, as it should. But then I just feel like shit because nothing else is, getting that same level of time, energy, or attention. And so it's like, yeah, like you can have this plan, and I like, it's this weird balance of like holding myself accountable for it. So like, even when I'm, dog tired and had to get up, super early, or, whatever, with Cal, or my, a wrench got thrown in my day, it's like this weird balance of holding myself accountable to like continue to make progress on the things that I want, and just like dig a little bit deeper, but then like also not like, how do I say this? Not holding myself too accountable so that when like things do fall short or whatever, that like I'm not just like in my head calling myself a piece of shit.
Well, I mean, please don't do that. But yeah, I mean, we all get there where you have either expectations or something where you're like, and then just when it doesn't happen, you just feel, yeah, it's not like inadequate is probably not the right word, but you don't feel that you lived up to what like your potential is. And that
Yeah.
always can, like, you're going to beat yourself up more than anyone else is about that stuff.
And I think that's just been like my hardest like personal adjustment. And not that it's like, and I want to preface, I feel like I always have to like explain that like hard doesn't mean bad. Like like just because something's hard doesn't mean like that I'm not enjoying it. I don't know. Like anytime anybody has anything not like glowingly positive to say about like parenthood or whatever, I feel like people are like, you know, quick to either judge or like say like, "Oh, but isn't it so great?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it is so great. It 100% is so great." But like those two things are not mutually exclusive. Like it can be hard and also really great. And I think the hardest transition I've had is just like in life past, if I wanted to do something, I could just go do it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I could just like if I if I want, not even like go out and do things. I mean like if I was working on a project, I could like set a date and be like, okay, we're starting at this date and this time. And like in my head, I'm like, okay, I need to have done before this date. And if that means, I'm up until midnight trying to get it done, whatever, okay. And like we can go through it, or I can spend my whole day dedicated to this. And it's like these days, I'm lucky if I get like an hour to squeak through something,
Yeah, for
Um, but
sure.
but anyways, all that to say, I didn't have it this today, and Tyler was feeling different but similar.
Different. Yeah. I mean, I had good weekend. We were at championships, which is like always good, but it's just like, it is a bear. Like it is probably close to like 35 hours of work in 3 days. Like you're just at it, getting
Yeah.
everything ready. And then unfortunately, but I mean, was glad to be there. My coworker was just sick as a dog, and she was like trying to power through. But
Work
like
through it.
usually we'll go back and forth as far as like I'll go early, you'll stay late, and like she was trying this. She's like, I can stay. And I was like, no, you are going home. And I've never done this to her. She's like, I'm fine. I was like, I'm the boss. You're
You're
going
going
home.
home. Yeah.
And she was like, oh, you're pulling the boss card. Cause I've never done that to her. But I was like, yeah, I'm pulling the boss card. But oh, quick side note. And I'll leave it and I won't bring it up anymore. But I just want to prove a point. I got to like jab a little bit.
Mm.
So we're going to Albuquerque, my favorite location in the world, and we're on the plane and there's a dude, and the like the stewardesses, people there were super nice. And they're like, hey, Boise State track and field is coming. Loud boo in the middle of the plane. Loud boo
From one person or a crowd of people?
from one person
Oh.
wearing a University of New Mexico Lobos hat
Uh-huh.
who was howling and barking at us as we went by on the plane
Huh.
and singing the Lobos fight song. And he's like, you guys join me. And then no one said anything. And he's like, you guys suck. And I was like, did, yep. See, I'm not lying. Albuquerque is just a little different. That's not, no. See, I can't do it. But
Just
anyway,
the epitome.
positive notes as we're going to go through. We made it through the week. Yesterday, and today were kind of like this awesome blend of like nerve wracking parenting because Quentin had basketball tryouts at school
Ooh.
and he's done like some lower level stuff, but this is like the first time. Um, for all of you who don't know, like I live in the competitive world, so I like am a little bit cautious and a little bit on the other side of like forcing competitive situations or like too much sport on my son too fast because I was like, trust me, like there's plenty of time to be serious about this. Like be a kid, enjoy your life. Like for all of us, and I know Heidi's there too, that have gone through it at like a high level, you know how serious it can get. And like it's like, okay, give yourself time. Anyway, so we had 2 days of tryouts. But today he found out like he actually made the A team. So there's an A, B, and a C team.
Let's
So
go.
he was really excited. Those are those situations where, like, as a parent, like, I'm super proud of him. Great
Yeah.
job. He did it himself. But you're like loading situations in your head. Like, okay, if it's A, we're all good. If it's B, we have this speech ready. If it's C, I don't know what went wrong, but I got to find a way to salvage that out. So I got to get that. Um, but super cool day for us. It was kind of the same when he did the ran for student council.
Right.
You were like, oh, okay, I got to have two different ways I can attack this. But you're just as nervous as they are. You're like, oh shit,
Right.
shit, oh shit.
Yeah.
Uh, but on the plus side, I am running, or negative side, I am running on fumes, which you can relate. I was going to bring this up right now. The boys' practice schedule for middle school is 6 to 8 o'clock in the morning, which means
Mm.
Tyler is getting up at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday to take Quentin to practice every day. So today was the first day of that. And I'm just trying to stay awake. That's all. I was like, there might be a lot of coffee consumed in the next 6 week time to make sure that I can get all my stuff done because I'm not, for those of you who don't know, I'm not like that morning person that's like, yeah, mornings, get up and like click my heels together and like sing songs. I have like my uncles that way. I'm not that way. I'm just like, nope. I just need my coffee and then just give me about, I'm better. I'm better than Lindsay. Lindsay's scary in the morning when she doesn't have her coffee. You have to give her some time. But I can be a little like, depending on how the night went and I slept. But I definitely need some coffee and I'm not a morning person. So I'm going to have to switch around my routine a little bit, work out. Maybe I'll get caught up on some paperwork. We'll see what happens. But overall, it was a really good message today. He was very proud of himself. I'm very proud of him. So good luck on making the A team.
Woohoo. Whoop, 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 whoop. I remember those days, man. So
I
fun.
said the A team and I was like, are you guys going to drive a black minivan or a black van? And I was like, I'll get you some gold chains. And he looked at me like, what are you talking about? I was like, you're way too young for the A team. So we're just not going to go there. We're not going to do it.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, I'm so glad. That's so awesome. And I'm glad that it was a generally good weekend
Generally, yeah.
and a generally okay weekend.
Generally not bad. Okay, we can. I've learned that there is a limit to the amount of green chilies my body will handle in one
Oh.
weekend before it decides to tell. There are a couple times I went over, like you don't get them very much, but there's really good food in Albuquerque. I will give you a
Yeah.
compliment. I just can't eat that much without my body giving me two double birds and saying, like, yeah, watch your GI tract now, buddy. Like,
Yeah,
you know how that
yeah.
goes.
Uh, yep. Uh, I too can only handle so much green chili.
Yeah. It just
Sam just has no regard for his GI tract, so he just says, "Bring it on, and I'll deal with the repercussions later."
I can't. Maybe in my younger days I could do that. Now I'm just like it's not worth it. It's just
No.
not. It's not worth it. I'm gonna pay for this all day tomorrow. It's not worth it.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, because I was sitting here and I was like, I really don't think I can fake it through a like deep, not even deep, a coherent
No,
conversation.
that's where we're
I,
at here, people. It's not even like deep level. It's just like surface. It's just too
uh,
serious for me. We can't do this.
I literally was just looking at this list, like, I don't think I got it. So, we are switching it up this week, and we just have some fun questions to ask each other, to go back and forth. It's just a light, fun, one-off episode. I hope you guys have fun. And I, I think I talked about this on the last episode. I can't remember. The HHQs.
Hard hitting
Sam,
questions. Yes.
hard-hitting questions, yes. Sam and I typically hit each other at the end of the day with a couple of hard-hitting questions. Sometimes they're totally random, like would you rathers. Sometimes they're when I was in the shower the other night, the HHQ Sam tossed over was if you had to run a marathon, where would you like to run it?
Uh, hmm. I don't know why. I feel like somewhere in the Northwest where it's like cool and a little bit like I don't want to run like, someone would say like California or somewhere where it's like I don't want it to be hot. If I'm running a marathon, I want it to be like cool and 50 degrees. I'm not running that thing in the middle of 80, 90 degrees. That's not happening.
Yeah, mine was either like Monterey, California, so it's like a little bit more north, cooler, but like if part of the marathon went through or around the Pebble Beach golf course and then you could like follow the coastline for the rest, I think that would be really cool. And then or like Napa, like through the vineyards and stuff. I think that would be really pretty too. Those were my two. Napa seems really hilly,
Yeah.
uh, and that sounds hard.
For some reason, yeah, I want to say somewhere like where it would just be like a forest and trees and I could just run and like enjoy the run like by streams and creeks and like I would really like
Yeah,
that.
there you go. I like that. Anyways, so they're random, fun questions, and so I've got some more HHQs to head your
HHQ.
way. So hopefully you guys have some fun listening to this episode, or you know what? Just jot these little HHQs down and bring to your dinner table or to your toothbrushing session with your significant other before you guys go to bed, whatever you got. So yeah, this episode's all about the HHQs because that
Beautiful.
is
Love
the
it.
capacity that my brain has
That's it.
today.
That's all we got. Deal with it, people.
Okay, HHQ number 2. Would you rather get a check for $5 million today or get $1 per step you take for an entire year?
Ooh, I might have to do some. Can I do math or do I just have to go?
Sure.
Let's go.
I mean, 10,000 steps a day would be what, 3,750,000. So you would definitely need to exceed 10,000 steps a day. And my
Which I
sister was
do quite easily.
right. And my
Yeah.
sister was like, "Oh, well, if I do that, like walking could just be my job." Uh, and she's like, "I would crush it." But in my head, you don't get paid out I mean, this question is made up and the rules don't matter, but the you don't get paid out until the end of the year. So like you'd still have to live and like do your job for, you know,
Yeah.
a year
I think I'd
while you're taking steps.
probably take the check because on average, I think I average around 13,000 steps a day.
Okay.
That's an average, but like
Okay.
that's still short 5 million bucks.
What is
Short. It's like
13,000 steps a
four.
day
It is
times 375?
4,745,000.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it and I was like, like, oh, I could just make, a very concerted effort for the year. But like, I was thinking about it, like, if I still had to do everything that I'm doing in my day-to-day life, I don't think I could make that drastic of an improvement. And right now, today, I take roughly 10,000 steps a day on average.
I think if I knew ahead of time, I'd be crushing the running every day. I would stop lifting for a
And
year of
just
my
run.
life and just run. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm making concerted efforts to never have to work again in my life.
That's a good point because none of I mean, I go for a walk every day, but like none of my gym exercise is like steps.
Mm-mm.
So I could like rededicate that time, but still, I don't think it would be enough to make that big of a difference. Anyways, I too said
I'd buy a
check.
walking, I'd buy a treadmill under my desk. I'd be like, I'm just walking nonstop for the next year of my life.
So are you doing the steps or are you taking the check?
I'd probably still take the check.
See, that was my thing too. And I was like, you know what? In a year's time frame, I could take half of that and invest it in something. And
I just feel like that sounds like a great idea, but as it peels down, you're gonna be like, I'm tired of walking. I don't want to do
right,
this
like I
anymore.
just need a
Your
freaking rest
motivation in
day.
the first 30 days is like anything, it's really high, and then it just starts up. Meow.
Yeah, totally, totally. Okay. HHQ number 3. What are things that you have pretended to know about as an adult, but you totally didn't know anything about it?
Uh, the first one is kind of funny because I used to go like he is one of them has like hence passed away. But my when I go to my in-laws' house, I would sit down at the bar with my father-in-law and my grandfather-in-law, and that we'd have another person come over, and they are like, my father-in-law is a log truck driver. My grandfather-in-law was a cement driver and a cowboy, and then this other guy worked in construction. So they would talk about like trucks and like all the cars and all that stuff, and I would just sit there and like smile and nod, and they'd ask a question, and I like try to throw in something related to all that, but I had no idea what I was talking about. I had like zero idea of what I was talking about.
And you were just going along with it?
Just going along with it. Just like, just pour me a whiskey and let's just keep talking. I don't really have anything to contribute. It wasn't a lot. I wasn't like embellishing and lying and like, oh, I know when I was driving truck and like I didn't say anything stupid or
Yeah.
reckless. But I can like it's almost the same thing like like hunting and guns. Literally don't know much about them. I know enough to like know, but I don't know like I don't do it anymore. So like
Yeah.
people will talk about it and I'll throw in my $1 sentence and then I just fade out because you're gonna keep going and I can't hang in this conversation. Can't do it. Nope, I'm good. But
Um,
in general, I'm really good about not like digging a hole and lying about it. I'm just like, I'm just going to be quiet because I've learned enough in my life. There's a lot of stuff I don't know, and I'm okay with that.
yeah.
What about you?
Uh,
What have you done?
I'm trying to think. So my confessions typically just go around like stupid adulting things. So like the other day, we were
Stupid.
in the car, we were driving. Sam mentioned that our mortgage went up. And I
Can
was
we have
like,
an episode called "Stupid Adulting Things"?
yes. Um, Sam was like, our mortgage went up about, however many $100 per month. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. I was like, why? He's like, because, property taxes increased or whatever. I was just like, oh, yeah. Uh-huh. And we just like kept driving. I had no idea that our mortgage that it was even possible for our mortgage to go up or down. I was just like, this is our mortgage and that's what it is and that's what it'll be for all of eternity. But our mortgage on the house and the cabin both went up and I didn't even know. Didn't know that it happened. And it happened and has been happening for a long time. Had no idea. And B, didn't know that that was even possible. And I was just like, yeah, yeah, oh, That makes sense.
Uh, our work rolled over to a different retirement fund.
Uh-huh.
And I've literally called people and been like, they're like, well, you need this form and we're going to do a transfer. It might be a roll. And they just talk. And I was like, you're speaking a different language right now. And I'm going to need you to dumb this down a lot for me because I have no idea what you're talking about right now. And then they just kind of like, oh. And I was like, no, I don't live in retirement. Like, do you want to talk about anatomy? I could do that all day. But you like, whatever you're
Well,
saying, I don't know.
that's one. Okay, this is one that I've definitely alluded to the fact that I know more about when I really actually don't, and it's like investment
Oh, I have no idea.
funds and
Nope.
stuff.
No, not a
And it's not
drop.
even that like I didn't like try to contribute to the conversation at all. I just didn't ask any questions and made it appear that I knew exactly what they were talking about. Um,
You have a
and
drink in your hand at a dinner and you're just like, hmm,
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 yes, that's so
yes.
interesting. Wow. What a smart financial move for you. Yes. But
just
yeah, I
just go back to
just
real estate. I think real estate's a solid investment.
well, and it's
Don't
just
know.
like, don't know enough about it and don't care to spend the time
No,
learning.
I'm not reading that book. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. So, anyways, those are mine of as of late that come to mind that I've just like been way over my head and didn't have the energy or the care to ask questions. And
Yes.
so it was just easier to be like, oh,
Mm, all right.
of course our mortgage went up.
All right. Yeah. I knew that. Been
Yeah,
paying attention.
duh. I I knew that. Um, okay, because I know that so okay, here's another really bad thing. This is really bad. And I think this you know how we talk about like roles and like uh I handle so many of the little like day-to-day things that like just keep our household moving forward, right? That like Sam has no idea about or
Sure.
no idea how to do.
Same thing here.
I couldn't even tell you, this is a big confession that I think people are going to get mad about. I could not tell you how much our mortgage is.
I could tell you, but I don't know how to pay it or where to send it.
Yep.
No idea.
No, I don't have a clue.
I have.
Uh, yeah, I have no idea. And like I have friends who are like meticulous budgeters and like couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
I don't know. And Sam sends the check. And so when he was like, yeah, our mortgage went up, I was like, oh, wow. From what to
How big? How much are we talking here?
what? Anyways, so that's my confessional time.
Nice. I like it.
Um, I hope I'm not alone in that, but I think I am definitely in the minority of just shit that I don't think about. Okay. Like when I got pulled over, did I tell you guys this? It was a while ago. It was like probably 3 months ago. I think I talked about it on the podcast. I was driving home. Cal was sick. I was driving home from the doctor and I got pulled over. And the guy was like, your tags are expired. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. Uh, and
Did you
so,
know you need to renew your plates every year?
well, I did know that,
Okay.
but
What?
they expired in May.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was like, oops, was a little busy in May. That probably fell through the cracks. But so didn't I had no idea. It wasn't even that I knew that my plates were expired. And I was just like driving around like, oh, I need to take care of that. Oh, I need to take care of that. Had no clue. Um, but two, uh, had to text Sam while the cop was at my window for Sam to send me my insurance card because I didn't have it. Uh, you know, you
They're all on
can't
your
win them
phone
all.
now. Yeah, you can't. True.
Can't win them all. Okay. What is the weirdest thing you have found funny lately? Or like what's something that has been tickling your fancy to make you laugh, put you in a good mood when you're in a bad mood or whatever?
I mean, there's a couple things like if they're at work, I do always appreciate a good if you can pull out like a good movie quote or like an
Mhm.
office reference,
Uh,
that will always make me laugh.
Chef's kiss always.
Yeah. The one that got me earlier, it's making me laugh right now. Have you seen the one where like I don't know why it came across and why it's so funny, but it's like you put a cup on your head and it says trust your wife challenge and
Uh,
she takes the belt and tries to
yeah,
knock it off. It just whaps
yes,
people in the face.
yes,
I died the other day watching that. That just made me
yes.
laugh so hard.
I, oh my God, that those ones just send me to another dimension.
Almost as good as the other one that made me laugh was your guys' sip and paint pictures. Your reaction to Sam's just I was dying laughing. It was so funny.
I almost spit my wine out. It was like it's
Do you
one
know
of
what's
those
even better? Please tell me you have those like hung out somewhere on the house.
there. Oh, so this is the funniest thing. So Sam was gone for like 3 nights last week. And so I have them sitting. So like when you walk in our front door, there's like a little like through the entryway, there's like a little like it's not part of the kitchen. It's like part of this hallway. It's not like a butler's pantry, but anyways, you can see it from the hallway. And I have it sitting, the both the paintings sitting there. And whenever I wake Cal up, we walk to the door and we look, out the window, just to get some like sunlight and wake up a little bit. And Cal would always turn around, look at the painting of Sam, and go, "Da, da, 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 da." And it's this like terrifying painting of Sam. And he would just look at dad, dad. It was
uh,
it was pretty good. And I
nice.
told Sam, I was like, if you're not careful, he's gonna think that this is actually you.
What
Uh,
about you? What is something that made you laugh or
um, so you're talking about like office references.
Mhm.
Um, my sister just sent me like three back to back to back office memes.
Nice.
Um, when Robert California takes a sip of the what is it? What did they
Japanese energy
say?
drink?
Yes, the Japanese energy drink, and he was like, "Why did they add coconut? I miss original."
I miss original, whatever it is, like something random, like
No, because it is a
no
Japanese energy drink
for
marketed for
for homosexuals, yes. And it was something I don't want to say. Why does this is going off track? Why does penis like? Wasn't there something in there about
coconut penis.
coconut? He's like, why did they have the
Yes,
coconut? I just like original.
coconut penis. Why'd they add coconut? I miss original. Oh, that one sent me. No, but the thing that has been like just really tickling me lately is like late 90s, early 2000s, like nostalgia that like keeps coming up. It's like remember this, and it's like all of these like blast from the past things. Like she sent me, do you remember these calculators?
I don't know if I do. Oh yes, yes.
And it would like stand up and it said this was the pinnacle of technology before iPhones. And it was like these calculators where you'd push a button and like the little cover would like open automatically and like stand up. But I've just been getting like a ton of those like, you know, throwbacks of things that just like you forget even existed. And those ones have just been really hitting the spot lately.
There you go. I like that. It's always
Um,
good to get some throwbacks.
what?
It's always good to get those throwbacks. Like I always love those like moments where you're like, oh, I remember that, or like you'd forgot about it and it pops back
Yeah.
up.
Oh man, just too good. Um, this was another one. So, okay, I'm gonna read you this. Catholic school be like, no long hair for boys. Meanwhile, there's a picture of a boy with long hair for boys in every classroom, and he's like the main boy. And that one just killed me as well. Anyways, okay. What is the weirdest thing that you've Googled this week?
This week, oh, you'll like this. Okay. There's no reason other than it like is something that is very unique to all of us growing up that is like that we've all gone through. Okay, follow me
Okay.
on this.
I'm
We've
following.
all sung the song, right?
Uh-huh.
The one
Uh-huh.
where it's like there was a farmer who had a dog and Bingo was his name-o.
Yeah.
Is Bingo the name of the dog or the farmer?
There was a farmer had a Bingo was his name.
Like, is he saying the dog's name was Bingo, or is he just saying he had a dog and the farmer's name was Bingo?
It's gotta be. It's gotta be the.
But
It's got.
listen, like he had a dog, and then it just says, and Bingo was his name. It doesn't say whose name belongs to Bingo. It's just there was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name.
His
Is
name.
that his name? Oh.
So what did you learn?
It's like 50-50 against the whole 50-50 split. It's not as much fun as like is a hot dog a sandwich conversation because most people haven't thought about this, but they're like, it's just tearing me up that I thought the dog was Bingo, but it's actually the farmer.
I'm going through my Google search history right now. This is embarrassing.
Hey,
Oh
let's
my.
keep it family rated here, okay, young lady?
I haven't Googled anything inappropriate. Oh, one thing, but it's not that inappropriate. Do you know who Tony Hinchcliffe is? He's a comedian. He runs the like stand-up show Kill Tony.
I don't think I sounds a little familiar, but I haven't seen. If I saw him, I might know.
So Sam and I love Kill Tony. Now, everybody keep in mind that it is wildly inappropriate. So just yeah, it is a very inappropriate
Oh,
comedy show. But anyways, Tony is teeny tiny and always wears like turtlenecks and long sleeves. And I was telling Sam, I was just like I can't tell if he's like fit or if he's just like little skinny itty bitty. I was like, I've never seen him without long sleeves and a freaking turtleneck on. Uh, it's not it's like a little quarter zip that he always wears. And I was just like, I am so curious. And so I Googled Tony Hinchcliffe shirtless to see if I
so
could figure out
inappropriate.
what he looked like because I was just trying to figure out like how like his physique was just so interesting because he's such a small guy. Anyways, so that was definitely definitely weird. Um, I Googled pictures of impetigo because my niece had a rash on her face. Uh, it was not impetigo. Um, let's see. Oh, the dumbest thing I Googled this week. So it's like one of those things that like I know it and I knew it, but I forgot. And so I had to Google to confirm that thunder is the sound of lightning.
How did
No, no.
you
Sam
had a
was like,
rough
well, you
week?
can't have one without the other. Because I was like, I mean, there's a ton of thunder, but I haven't seen any lightning. And Sam was like, well, you can't have one without the other. I was like, you sure you can? Sam was like, if there's thunder, there is lightning. He's like, that's what it is. And I was like, I just thought thunder was like the air, different temperature air colliding and all of this stuff. And he was like, nope, it's the lightning. I was like, are you sure? And I Googled it. It is.
It
And I said,
is.
I was like, well, we were both right because it's the sound of the air expanding really fast because it's hot from the lightning. And that's what makes like that big crack thunder sound. And I was like, well, you were right, but we were both kind of right, but you were more right.
Just can't give it to him. Can't do it.
No. That's the dumbest thing I Googled this week and the weirdest thing I Googled this week.
I mean, I don't know if mine counts as both. I haven't really looked under all of it, but yes, that was not probably the greatest thing I've done.
I also Googled Rory McIlroy's wife. I was trying to see what she looked like. Uh
Yeah, that's about the dumbest thing and the only exciting thing.
yeah. Mm,
That's it.
mm. I've been watching Gilmore Girls and was trying to figure out which towns in the show are real and which ones are made up part of the show.
Very important to the plot, I've
Yeah,
heard.
random. Okay, what's a weird habit that you can't seem to break?
Um, Weird habit that I can't seem to break.
I got a weird one. I'll kick this one off.
Okay, go.
This is really gross. I'm really outing myself here. So it's been really dry here, and the inside of my nostril, like cracked, like dry skin
Mm-hmm.
on the inside of my nostril, and it formed a scab. And that scab will like catch on my nose hairs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like constantly picking at this scab that's inside my nose, and it constantly looks like I'm picking my nose.
Oh, don't be. You're picking your nose, aren't you? And you're just throwing an elaborate story to throw us off the track.
If I feel like if I was just picking my nose, that'd almost be better. I'm just perpetually picking at this like scab that I have, and it just keeps reforming, and I keep picking it off, and it keeps reforming, and I keep picking it off. Um, so that's my current weird habit that I can't seem to break. Not only embarrassing, but I'm just creating a worse inside of my nose scab.
Yeah, a worser scab than what we
Yeah,
started.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything offhand. What is a bad habit I have right now that I can't seem to break?
Coffee consumption.
Oh, it's gotten way worse than that. So
Are
just
we on
kidding,
energy
Lindsay.
drink? Are we on energy
No,
drink consumption?
no, I'm not allowed to do that. That's not a good habit. I would never do something like that.
Tyler, you know that this is the hill I will die on.
It's not all the time. It's just every once in a while,
How often is every once in a while?
once or twice a week.
Mm,
They're just the Celsius ones, the
no,
Celsius one.
no.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm not, that's all that's probably one of my, well, it's not going to get better if I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning all the time.
Uh, Tyler, Tyler, Tyler.
I have one that tastes like sherbet that I like a lot, like rainbow sherbet. It's really
No,
good.
we're
Yeah.
not promoting energy drinks on this podcast. I won't condone it.
I'm not, no one else should do it. That doesn't mean I like do as I say, not as I do. Okay, people.
No, that's bad. I I'm not willing to cut you any slack on that one.
It's plant energy. Okay. It's different.
Bull. You're still gonna get kidney stones.
I might someday.
Um, boo. I
Ew.
don't even like that one. Moving on. I can't even talk to you about this. I thought you were better than that, Tyler. And anybody that wants to come at me for shaming Tyler about his bad habit, come at me. I'm gonna shame him all day about that one. That habit deserves to be shamed.
I'm not arguing. Do you hear me arguing?
No. Okay, last question, and then we'll scoot.
Done.
If you were famous,
Yeah,
no. I wanna rephrase this.
got it.
If you had 5 years to dedicate yourself to a sport, and at the end of that 5 years, you had to qualify for the Olympics or pay $100,000 fine. What sport do you think you could dedicate yourself to for 5 years?
Oh, I got this. Not even a problem. Uh, why am I trying to blank on what it's called? Oh crap.
Skeet shooting,
Nope. I'm
the
terrible at that. My dad's a pro and I'm terrible at that.
the the
Um,
decathlon.
no. Let's be realistic here. I'm not qualifying. I'm 44. That's not happening.
I don't know. Curling.
That's it. Yep. Done.
I was trying
Boom.
to come up with some obscure thing.
Curling. I would I would go for it. 5 years, just every day, work on that curling. It actually looks
How do
like
you,
fun. I would
I
love to try it.
it's basically just cornhole on ice.
It's more like what do you call it?
Oh, shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. I'm on it. Curling.
How does one get into curling?
I know there's curling bars. Did you know that?
Yeah, but like the guys who are at the Olympics participating in curling,
I think you
like,
do like
did
club.
they grow up going to a curling club?
Maybe there's
That's
some like
so foreign to
in
me.
Idaho. I imagine there's some in Colorado.
When you ask me next week, what's the weirdest thing I've Googled?
Maybe it'd be either that or like cornhole nonstop. Just like, yep, I got to get good at this. It could be in the Olympics.
Yeah, that's
But
funny.
curling, well, I would do that.
Okay.
I'm on it. Curling.
Okay.
So where you just do this and then just yell like, "Huh," and then, yep, let it go.
Wow. Okay. I can see that and I'm on board with it. I support.
But if they have curling bars when you're in the Olympics, do they like if part of your ritual for curling is like, I have my curling stones, I have my pitcher of beer, and then I go, do they let you do that in the Olympics? You're like, no, no, no. This is my energy drink right here. This is my beverage of choice.
It's like when you play cornhole and you have to have a drink in one hand.
Exactly. And you hit a pinnacle where you're like not very good, and then you're like whatever your number is, and then you're like, I'm on it. And then it starts to go downhill if you pass it. So or maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Uh, I like that. I'm here for that one. Sam does not support my answer. I say golf. Uh, because I feel like I have a generally good baseline skill for very little hours dedicated.
Okay. I see.
Very few hours dedicated to golf, yet I can golf medium well.
What scores medium well?
Um, medium well. Okay, now people are gonna make fun of me. Medium well for somebody who golfs when I was golfing. I haven't golfed since before I was pregnant, mind you. But somebody who golfs for I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 rounds a year and never practices except going to the range to warm up before those 4 or 5 rounds of golf. Um, and I shoot in the low 90s.
I mean, that's not terrible.
No. So
No.
that's what I'm saying. If I have this kind of generally low medium skill level by just kind of farting around, every so often, I feel like if I dedicated my life, Sam was like, you would have to shave like, 25 strokes off of your game. He's like, that's an insane amount. And I was like, but if I was dedicating my life to
To
it,
it.
I really think I could do it.
What was Sam's answer?
Uh, what was Sam's answer? Uh, okay, before we go, let me ask him.
Are you typed to
I'm
texting?
texting him right now. Olympic HHQ.
I don't even know if I would try curling. I don't know if I would be able to do it, but I would definitely give it a go.
Yeah, we'll see what he says. I feel like that's a good answer.
And I feel like it's not super because I am 40,
Physical.
44. Yeah. So like I stay in shape enough. I can swing that. I can get that. It's just going to have
Yeah.
to be getting the stones going, learning some strategy.
That was Sam said rifle or archery.
Ooh, I think rifle would be probably I like for me, rifle would be easier. Archery is going to take, I've done archery. I'm not real good at it. So that would take some time.
Sam said something that's just pure skill that could be repped and repped and repped and repped over the course of 5 years. No physical attributes required.
You don't want to ask him if he wants to try curling with me?
Tyler wants to try curling with you. Anyways, well, as you can see, this episode was about as Sam said I'm in.
I'm in.
You have
There
a
you go. We
teammate.
could do that. Yeah, we could do that.
Sam said I'll slide, you brush.
Both way. Yeah, got it.
He said I bet you have more muscular endurance. Sam will be precision, Tyler will
There you
brush.
go. I got it.
Okay, deal. Well, hopefully this was fun for you guys. It was fun for me. And you know what? It's what I needed. I'm leaving in a much better mood than when I sat down.
Me too. Sometimes that's all you need.
Sometimes that's all you
Smile
need.
and laugh and have a good time.
That's right. Well, and I hope that's what this episode did for all of you guys. Maybe next week I will actually have some good shit to share.
There we go.
Okay. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us this week, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for being here.